You dwell on the past. You shift to the future. You just, you're never just right here. Hey ladies, how you doing? So I want to talk about mindfulness and being present. You guys know I've been talking a lot about, being present, mindfulness, and just having patience with yourself. And sometimes we may not understand what being mindful and being present is. I know for me, I think about before, my journey with therapy and all those different things about being mindful and being present, and just kind of not think about the things that worry you and the things that keep you down, or the things that might be just so far in your past. It can be difficult. Being mindful can be difficult, especially if you're like me. You dwell on the past, you shift to the future. You just, you're never just right here, in the present. Like pretty much right now, being in the present is me talking to you right now. I'm focused on this. I'm doing this. That's being present. I'm not shifting to the past and thinking about what happened and how it happened and why it happened, trying to dissect it, see if I can kind of change it. I can't change what happened, because guess what? It happened already. I can't be shifting to the future thinking about, oh my God, what if? No, because guess what? It didn't happen. It hasn't even came to, because we right now in the present. Now, can we stay in the present and mold the present so whatever we worrying about the future won't happen? Yeah, we can, kind of do things. But sometimes things are just so inevitable. You just can't control. But certain things you can control. So focusing on being mindful and I have learned to be patient and kind with myself. To understand how to control my moods. Because sometimes, we can slip into anxiety and depression easy, and sometimes nothing even happens. It's just something that we're just used to, and we're building routines in our life, things like that. And then sometimes having anxiety can happen from a trigger, or depression. It can also happen from a trigger. Sometimes what I'm trying to say is sometimes something can happen, sometimes something doesn't happen. So it's like a catch-22. I have really slowed down and paid attention to my senses. Like I really want to adapt slow living. I really want to. To be honest, I do watch a lot of videos on slow living, because I really feel like living in the world that we live in, it moves so fast. It's always something going on. And us as individuals, we are accustomed to just moving with the flow. Prime example, we got Valentine's Day coming up. I go into the store, we got candy and all kind of stuff already sitting out. It was sitting out after New Year's. So we just moving. We trying to get to the next thing. It ain't even happened yet. After Valentine's Day, we're going to start doing St. Patrick's things. We start seeing a lot of green stuff out. So we always just going. And my thing is, yes, time is moving, but it ain't moving that fast. We're always ahead of the game, always with the future. So I want to adapt slow living. And I want to be in my moment and living according to my time and cherishing things that mean more to me, if that makes any sense. So when I say I focus on my senses, these are senses that I'm focused on. Touch, smell, sight, and sound. So before I got my new job, I used to sit on my porch a lot. And I'm a city girl. I was born in New York. I was born in the Bronx, born and raised. I didn't leave New York until in my 30s. So that was pretty much all I knew. So coming down here to the country and, having porch life and all these trees and hearing birds and all these different things just chirping and carrying on, I wasn't accustomed to that. But being here now, I used to sit back and literally listen to the birds in the morning. Literally listen to the wind blow, listen to the trees kind of shake on the branches. And I got away from that. And I felt like the only time I really enjoyed those moments is when I was happy. And I don't just do it and enjoy it when it's just an everyday because I'm so busy in my past or in my future. You get what I'm trying to say? So when it comes to touch, you know, and I don't mean to be like graphic or anything like that, but like sometimes when you're taking a shower, get into it, you know, feel what's going on, you know, feel where, you know, you're rubbing yourself. And, you know, we as women should be doing self-examinations and things like that, doing stuff like that, you know, getting into ourselves, because sometimes we get away from that, you know, when it even comes to even touch. If it's like, if you have a pet, just enjoy that moment. If you have a child, a significant other, you know, be in that moment. Just not be so far off. You know, when you're meditating, you know, feel the tingles in your hands. And that's something that I did not do until it was introduced to me that, you know, you're not present, Kelly. You don't even know what present is until I was already guided. I was in a guided meditation, right? And it was like, feel your hands. What are you feeling? How do your fingertips feel? And it was like so unreal to me because I never got that present with myself. It was, you know, we always so fast. Smell, you know, not the bad stuff, the good stuff. You know, for me, you know, fragrances is my jam. So if it's me spraying a fragrance and me smelling that first note, that second note, that dry down note, you know, or if it's even cooking, you know, cooking that meal and, you know, you cutting those onions up, them green peppers, getting in the moment, understanding, you know, what's going on at the moment, how the food is actually just opening up and just, you know, just getting in the moment. Something I did not do. Now, yeah, when you cooking, you smelling everything and, you know, oh, the house smell good. We cooking some good food. But when I mean like being mindful and being present, like just being into it and enjoying it. And I tell you, it may seem like crazy, but in all reality, it's kind of soothing. It is. I'm not gonna say kind. It is soothing. It's like being in your own world. You got people with you in the world, but you know, just kind of tapping in and zoning out with yourself and for yourself, and just not getting caught up in all the other not getting caught up in all the stuff that's going on in the world. I'm gonna get into social media in a minute. Now, sight. A lot of you may not know I do wear glasses. I just started wearing glasses, say last year sometime. Now I can see really, really good, but sometimes things get kind of blurry. Sometimes things get like if it's far, far away. So I don't know if that's called nearsighted or farsighted, but I got some glasses from the eye doctor, and when I put these glasses on, I feel like everything is vibrant. Now I can see everything, but I feel like when I do see things, they kind of like the dull version of it was when I put the glasses on. It's like it's more like if I'm looking at something that's brown or red, it's still brown and red and it's still bright, but something about them glasses is like, but I don't have to wear them every day. I only wear them like if I'm driving or something like that. But getting into sight, just like looking into the sky, looking at the clouds, you know, looking at yourself, looking at your family, just being present, looking at what you have, what you're grateful for. Sometimes we just lose sight of all of these different things and we don't even realize what we have until it's gone. I mentioned sound already in regards like the birds and what's going on. And even to the point of like when you're outside, like when I was in New York, now again, born and raised in New York all my life, well not all my life, but you know, all my young teenage, young adult life, I heard the trains, the buses, and it was like it didn't even matter to me. I lived by a train station, and it was a overground, you know, like a high train station, so it was a above ground. The trains would come all night long, but living there, I became, and others too, zoning out. Even when you're sleeping at night, even when you wake up in the morning and your train's coming, you can hear it go boom, boom, and they'd be like, next stop. You can hear all of that. But at one point in time, once you get used to and accustomed to it, you don't care about it anymore. It's like, it's silent. When I went back to New York in November, when I had some death in my family, hearing the trains, hearing the fire trucks, hearing the sirens, you talking about somebody's senses on 1,000? That was me being present. And meanwhile, before, it didn't even bother me. So just noticing them things and understanding where you are at the moment and appreciating it, even if it is a siren. Now, to kind of piggyback on touch and things like that. You know, sometimes we could be so frustrated, right? And I'm going to give you an example of not being present and being present. You know how we can have a freaking bad day at work, or just have a bad day, period. And instead of just letting that go, we'll be thinking about it. Like when we get up in the morning, we brushing our teeth, we taking a shower, we thinking about, I got to get them kids to school. Oh God, I got to go, I got a meeting, and oh, I got to deal with this lady, oh, I got to deal with this man, whatever the case may be. That's what we're thinking about when we're in the shower. I know I have done it. I mean, I have done it all the time, but I know I have done it. And that's not being present. You know, being mindful and being present is, you know, I'm brushing my teeth and I'm thinking, okay, am I getting back up in there? Am I getting all that out? Do I got any food back there? You know, kind of like, you know, in the moment of me brushing my teeth. And then if you have a, like an electric toothbrush, you know, you massaging and you getting in there and it's just feeling good to you. You know, just being in that moment, being present, being mindful, and just paying attention to what's going on with you at the moment and not what hasn't even happened yet. And at the end of the day, and this is what I'm coming to realize, what I've came to realize, we focus, or I focus on so many different things that I have no control over. Let it go and just focus on what you can control, and anything else, stay present. That's it. And I know it's not easy and done, but that's where I am at the moment. So ways that I have been practicing mindfulness, and I mentioned a few already. Like today I cooked. I was like craving steak. And I'm not a real big red meat eater. Like I'll eat burgers and stuff, but not frequent. So I was craving steaks, and I wanted cube steaks to be Pacific. I want to smother it in some gravy with some onions and peppers, and I wanted mashed potatoes. I did not want rice, and I wanted mashed fresh potatoes. I wanted to cut the potatoes up, skin them, mash them up, buttermilk. I want to do all of that. So I knew I wanted that. So I said, you know what, Kelly, while you're doing this, get into it. Get into it. I was on the phone with my girlfriend. I said, you know what? I got to get off the phone with you because I need to get into me mashing these potatoes. I need to be in this moment right now. I said, because I really want to get in the moment because I know it's going to be so good when it's time for me to eat. So cooking and doing things like that really, really helped me practice mindfulness and being present. Some other thing. In addition to that, enjoying my food. You know, sometimes we'll sit down and we're eating our food. We on a computer, on a laptop. We got the tablet in front of us. We got our phone tilted sideways. We looking at something over there. We texting somebody. Whatever. Don't. Enjoy your food. Chew it. Feel it going down. It may seem like it's like, girl, you are tripping. We need to get things done while I'm eating. I'm over here giving orders to these children. I'm telling Johnny to go get in the tub. I'm doing all this because I got so much going on. I got to multitask, but sometimes you got to take time really for yourself. And I've sat back in these last 30 days since the year has started. A little bit before the year because it's not quite 30 days as of yet. Well, January hasn't finished as of yet. I really see how, you know, I slip. I'm not going to sit and say I'm perfect, but I do see the difference in how I'm just like, You can go ahead and be fast. You can go ahead and keep going like that, but I'm going to keep it right here. But here's some other ways that I practice to be mindful and present. Reading, y'all. I finished 2 books already. On my 3rd book, and we're just in January. So I know I'm going to get a lot of books read. And you guys know I have a lot of books already. And I've pretty much been watching a lot of book clubs, because I know some of you said you wanted for me to do a book club here, or even if it was offline, I would love to do that, because I really feel like me doing books here is not too interactive for me. I need more. Once I did that actual Google Hangout with you ladies, I said, oh God, I like that type of interaction because it was offline, it was off social media, and it was pretty much just us. Like if we just got together, went out for drinks, we went out to a restaurant. That's how that felt. So if we do a book club over here, it will definitely be offline. So I need y'all to myself, okay? Turning off technology. You guys know, some of you may have known, I got off social media for like 5 months. That was during the time of last year. I was going through a lot. I had a really bad breakup. You know, it was just a lot going on. And I just felt like I needed to just remove myself from social media, in addition to that going on and other things in my life going on, you know, dealing with trauma, dealing with all other kind of nonsense, you know, because it's besides your trauma, besides a breakup, you got other things going on that can definitely take you for a loop. So I said, you know what, I need a social media detox, because everybody here is living their best life that they really not living their best life, because social media is definitely, you know, it's not reality, because a lot of people stage things just to make it look like, even though we know how that goes. You know, you can tell who lives the life and who really doesn't live the life. but social media detox is really one. You know, sometimes you have to unplug, and I don't mean unplug for a couple of hours or unplug for a day. I mean literally take the app off your phone. And I've done that. Not only have I took the app off my phone, I deactivated my account for 5 months just so I can pretty much chill out and enjoy me and get into me and understand what I'm going through in my life. You know, really tapping into my therapy, understanding what mindfulness means, you know, understanding how to be present, understanding that, you know, it's okay to be like this. It's okay to deal with anxiety and depression. You know, some people feel like, oh, I don't want to say anything about it because it's a mental health. Yes, it is. Yes. But it's okay. A lot of people will not admit that they deal with that. And I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. Because it doesn't change me. I don't feel a tag is on me. I just happen to be someone who held some things in, and it put me through a place, and now I'm just trying to get through it. That's all. And that's how everybody else is, getting through it. So to kind of speed this up, I did write some things down, so I'm going to just read it off to you. I put down breathing, meditation, listening, paying attention, really listening and zoning in. Because sometimes I've found that in the past, I'll be listening to people, but I'm listening, but yet my brain is on something else. Multitasking. Not to saying you can't do that, because some people can do that really, really well. They can listen to the whole conversation and be writing an essay. But I want to say for myself, I really want to give my undivided attention and listen to people when they're talking to me, because that's what I want. Treat people how you want to be treated, if that makes any sense. So like I mentioned before, I do deal with depression and anxiety, but with the help of my therapy and all my other tools and things that I do have, I was introduced to mindfulness and being present. And that's something I did not know. I did not know about. Didn't know it was a thing. And you know, I'm not ashamed to admit that, but I did not know. Being present and being mindful can be hard when you've been doing something for so long. Like meaning being in the past or being in the future. So it's kind of hard to be present. It's like you have to practice. You have to like exercise a muscle that is like super weak. Super weak. Like I look at some people who be like, I don't care about that. And they really don't be caring. You know, I ain't even worrying about that. They ain't here yet. And it's like, how do you do that? And remember, we all are different, and being in the past is depression, and being in the future is. Kind of wrap this up, I want to say, you know, moving on to when you're dealing with, you know, like family and friends or just people in general, you know, because sometimes they don't even have to be a family or a friend. They can just be associates. You know, this may seem cold, but I had to remove people out of my life so I can be present and be mindful, because those people kept me in my past or kept me thinking about the future. So I had to sit back and say, Kelly, what's more important? This association, this friendship, this a relative, or my peace and my sanity? So what came first? My peace and my sanity. And that is okay. So please let me know down below if you had to make some executive decisions in your life. Yes, executive decisions in your life, to where you had to sit back and say, you get to stay and you get to go out of my life. Sometimes I have to tell myself to stop being so anxious, to stop overthinking. You know, it's okay, you know, calm down. And it's okay to talk to yourself, you know, not that if you're like, for lack of better word, people think you're crazy or something like that. But it's okay to talk to yourself and to talk yourself, you know, down from a situation. You know, not out of a situation, you know, not out of like a good situation, but out of bad situations. Because sometimes being so anxious it's really hard. And it's just speaking from my point of view. Sometimes I find myself, when I'm anxious and I'm always in the future, I'm trying to solve problems that I can't solve. And it's just, so mindfulness. So now, like I mentioned before, I just try to be chill, laid back. I'm gonna start practicing slow living. I think I'm gonna start that probably, I'm gonna gradually do it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna start, but I really want to really by the springtime, I really want to be in this slow living mode, like chill, laid back, you know, living on my terms, how I want to, and bump everybody. Really, I want my space to be nice and cozy, nice, clean and fresh, airy and refreshing. That makes any sense. So that's gonna be a work in progress, you know, because you know, when you're changing things around in your home, it takes time. But I feel by spring, I should have that together and I can practice what I want to practice. So to close this up again, what are your thoughts on being mindful? Do you practice mindfulness? Have you heard of mindfulness? What do you do to stay present? What do you do to not think about the past? Not be so anxious? Because even though you may not deal with depression or anxiety, you know, sometimes we can still always think about something in the past or think about something in the future. You know, what do you do to combat that? Let me know. Leave it down in the comments. You know, that's kind of cool. That's not too much to do. You know, I don't want nobody to share anything that's a little bit too much for the comments, but just some gentle things, you know, to keep the dialogue going. Okay? And if you do practice mindfulness, what are some of the things that you do to stay present? So I want to say hey to all my new subscribers. Hey to all my loyals. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll catch you next video. Bye.